Backlash took place tonight in Tampa, Florida at Benchmark International Arena. First, you had the Countdown to Backlash show with the usual pre-show panelists. I watched this on YouTube. The only reasons to ever watch a WWE Countdown show to a PLE are Jackie Redmond and Kathy Kelly, who I always enjoy seeing. Kathy wearing red, Jackie wearing pink. That's it. There's no other reason to ever watch a Countdown show because nothing else really happens. You did have Big E on the panel, by the way, and it must have been a little bit awkward as Kofi and Xavier were just let go last week by TKO. But of course, Big E, he's still with the company for as long as they keep him. Then Backlash officially began. We got some superstar arrivals, including Trick Williams, Sami Zayn, Asuka, Iyo Sky, who was interacting with some of the fans outside, Danhausen, Jacob Fatu, and Roman Reigns. Then we got the opening video package, followed up by some pyro. We usually don't get pyros for shows like Backlash, so that was pretty cool. Seth Rollins was out first to a big pop. He was wearing a Bane mask. And all I thought was great. We get Johnny Gargano planking on Fridays, actually, pretending like it's still 2011. Now I guess Seth Rollins still thinks it's 2012 with the damn Bane mask. And then Bron Breakker was out next with Paul Heyman. And we started off a little bit early because usually on PLEs, it takes about 20 minutes for the first match to actually start with all the entrances. But here, it started off early. I think it was 8 minutes, and they got a lot of time here. I was surprised. We got Seth Rollins versus Bron Breakker. So they brawl early on. Then Braun got the heat for a while. Braun now has Suplex City, and that tells you that Brock Lesnar is really retired. And that's not just because his profile has been moved to the alumni section on WWE.com. It's that Bron Breakker now has Suplex City. He was German suplexing Seth all over the ring in this match. And Braun hit a couple of Frankensteiners. He didn't need to hit too many of them, and I didn't think they looked that good. Because like later in the women's match, there was a Frankensteiner. They called it a Hurricanrana. It looked a lot better than Braun's. But Seth rallied. He got some offense in. Fans are really behind Seth. There was "This is awesome" chants. Braun hit a really good flying clothesline from the apron onto Rollins, and they bounce over the announce booth. Braun actually countered a Falcon Arrow, and what happens is the Falcon Arrow, it's when Seth hits the superplex and he follows it up with the Falcon Arrow. Well, he did that. Seth hit the superplex, but this time Braun countered and hit his own Falcon Arrow, which looked really good. So Seth Rollins hits the curb stomp, but then Paul Heyman distracts the referee. Seth, instead of going for the pin, he goes to the outside, grabs a chair, and he was ready for the Vision, which was good. It made sense. Logan Paul and Austin Theory come out, and Seth beats them down with the steel chair. He beats down Theory pretty good, and he's going to go after Paul, but Paul runs up the apron. Seth goes after him, but he runs back in the ring, and it was pretty obvious right there he was in trouble. So he eats a spear from Bron Breakker after he gets back in the ring, but he kicks out at 2. Braun goes for a second spear, but Seth counters with a sort of pedigree, like he forgot to hook the arms, but he kind of did it in a way, half pedigree, if you will. And then he went for the top rope curb stomp, a super one, but he couldn't hit it because Braun countered that curb stomp with the spear, and Braun catches Seth midair with the spear. Bron Breakker then hits a super spear, bouncing off the ropes multiple times, and then finally hitting a third spear on Seth Rollins. 1, 2, 3. Bron Breakker defeats Seth Rollins. The announcers called it the biggest win of his career, and I absolutely agree. The biggest win of Bron Breakker's career was tonight. He defeats Seth Rollins, not necessarily totally clean, but he does pin him in the center of the ring. 1, 2, 3. Wins at Backlash. I have no doubt that they were going to have this match at WrestleMania, and to be honest, they probably should have. Yes, I like Gunther, but they could have found something else for Gunther. This should have been the WrestleMania program. And if this was the match at WrestleMania, it would have been the best match at WrestleMania besides maybe CM Punk and Roman Reigns, because this was a very good match. I really, really liked this a lot. Really delivered for me, and I liked it. So Bron Breakker gets the win, and this is what he needed. Definitely a big win for him. So we got a couple of WWE ads, and I'll say this. The commercials for this PLE, it's like they listen to their audience. I don't know. I didn't necessarily watch this live, this show. I couldn't. But I did watch the entire show, and from what I got, it felt like a lot less commercials compared to WrestleMania. Maybe it's because I'm watching on delay and the commercials got cut. I don't know, but I want if you watch this live, please let me know. I watched like an hour delay, so 7:15 or so was when I started watching, and I watched the whole show. About like 2 hours and 45 minutes was the show for me. I want to know if you were delayed, if anyone was delayed, and if anyone had long commercial breaks, because I didn't get them. You did get some ads, but you didn't get too many. And compared to what we've, I don't even want to talk about what happened last month, the trauma of like 3 weeks ago of that WrestleMania disaster, of all those fucking advertisements, it was so much less tonight. So Sami Zayn was out next, and then you had Kathy Kelly, and I like her red dress, by the way, interviewing Trick Williams in the back. It was actually right in Gorilla, and he had Lil Yachty with him. Trick cuts a promo before he makes his entrance with Yachty, and then we get the United States Championship match on the line. Trick Williams defending his title against Sami Zayn. This was the only WrestleMania rematch on Backlash. You know, there was a time when Backlash was filled with WrestleMania rematches. That's what it would be used for. But this was the only one we got here. So Trick is not at all good in the ring. He's very dull, and I've known this. I've seen him in NXT. He's going to get exposed. Yes, the whoop that Trick is very over, and he has a lot more charisma than, say, Jey Uso. So maybe he can have more legs, but as a single star, the thing is, he's not good in the ring, and he's going to be exposed very soon. And don't be surprised, it won't happen anytime soon. Maybe not, even till past this year. But you might start seeing fans turn on him because he sucks in the ring, and he was exposed here. He couldn't have a good match with Sami Zayn, and he didn't have a very good match with Sami Zayn at WrestleMania. I actually liked the WrestleMania match more than this, and that's not saying much because I didn't think the WrestleMania match was that good. So this was the kind of match I wish didn't have time. Every match on this show got time. This is the one match, and also with the tag match that came after this. I wish those two matches got cut, to be honest, and they added another match. But not totally cut, like their times got cut. This didn't need to be this long because Trick can't go this long. So Lil Yachty distracts the referee, but it backfires because Sami Zayn hit Trick Williams with the Candy Cane kendo stick. A Candy Cane kendo stick in the month of May that Lil Yachty introduced. It's the same one he attacked Sami with on SmackDown last night for the Gingerbread Man's funeral. Then Yachty hits Sami with the kendo stick. Eventually, Sami beats up Yachty with the kendo stick, hits a haluva kick, and I think he DDT Trick onto steps. But then he gets back in the ring after the haluva kick onto Yachty, and Trick hits the trick shot on Sami Zayn. 1, 2, 3. Trick Williams retains the United States Championship. He is not ready for this spot. He is Jey Uso 2.0. All my issues with him in NXT came to light here. He's not very good in the ring. It's Jey Uso. The Yeet, the new Yeet, 2025 was the Yeet. 2026 is whoop that Trick. He's going to be exposed. Then we got another commercial break. Kit Milson and The Miz were out next. And then we had Danhausen had a special video package. I don't know what the fuck this was. It was like a movie trailer, and they're calling it Night of the Living Cursed, parodying Night of the Living Dead. Whatever. So Danhausen was out next on his mobile, whatever, the Danhausen mobile, I don't know. And then a mini Danhausen comes out of the crate. He's cloning himself, and it's a fucking mini. It's one of these AAA guys. I was thinking, great, it's fucking Hornswoggle shit. I don't like Danhausen. People like Danhausen. I don't. To me, it's Hornswoggle shit. And I was thinking, maybe is this El Torito? Is he back, El Torito? Remember, Hornswoggle and El Torito had that horrible feud in like 2014 before Torito was fired. Oh my god, and Hornswoggle was fired too. Remember how horrible that shit was? Is this what we're fucking getting? It had to be someone like that. Like, I don't need to see fucking minis. I don't want to see this shit. It's garbage. Anyway, it goes on forever. I want to attend. Yeah, it was comedy. People like it. They eventually cloned a bunch of minis too, so it's like 100 minis or fuck, I don't know what the hell's going on. Comedy matches shouldn't be this long. If it's going to be a comedy match, have it go 5 minutes. It's all it really needs to be. I did not need to see this. Danhausen and the Minihausen won. Whatever, not much to say. Then we got ads, of course. Iyo Sky was out next after that to a pop, and then Asuka came out after her. And we get Iyo Sky against Asuka. To start the match off, we got a lot of "we want Kyrie" chants, and the fans wanted Kyrie, saying they thought they were getting Kairi Sane because I think it's the Wrestling Observer or someone. Alvarez, he's the one who reported that WWE, most people in WWE expect to see Kairi Sane. Well, he was wrong because there was no Kairi Sane on the show. So stop giving them your money. Asuka got the heat early on. Fans were chanting for both Iyo Sky and Kairi Sane, which is impressive because you had two baby faces in this match. You had one heel who was doing really good, but you also had two baby faces, the one face and the other face who got fired last week, or 2 weeks ago now. So Iyo rallies. Asuka looked a little bit slow at first. And I noticed that. I was thinking, is something wrong? Maybe there kind of is. Then on the announce booth, probably the best spot of the entire, maybe one of the best spots of the whole night, not just this match. Asuka and Iyo are on the announce booth. Asuka goes for the mist, but Iyo grabs like Michael Cole's notepad, and the mist hits the notepad, and that was a really, really great visual there. I actually really liked that a lot. And then Iyo gets a whole bunch of offense in. She hit German suplexes. She hit the bullet train. She hit, before that, actually, she hit a springboard moonsault to the outside. Iyo survives the Asuka lock and hits more offense, the bullet train. And then Iyo hit the over the moonsault to win a very, very good matchup here. Not a classic. I thought they could have a great match. And I think if they went on a little bit early, it would have been great. But this was still a very good matchup here. I really enjoyed it. Got really good at the end. Now, the big story was not just the match, it was the post-match. So, there's two big stories. There's no Kairi Sane. Kairi Sane was not even hinted at. They didn't mention her name on commentary. They didn't say her name. She is not coming back. Kairi Sane is gone from the WWE. The bigger story now is Asuka. She embraces Iyo Sky, and I was thinking, I know what's going to happen here. Asuka is going to miss Iyo. She is going to miss Iyo. She's going to get all this heel heat. She's going to beat the hell out of Iyo. Then Kairi Sane's going to make the save, and it's going to be a great moment. That's what's going to happen here. That's exactly what I was thinking. Oh, great. No Kairi at all, and Asuka doesn't turn heel. Instead, Asuka starts crying. Her and Iyo Sky embrace. They hug. Iyo Sky actually bows to Asuka, which was a nice moment. It's a traditional Japanese wrestling thing to bow to the veteran. She's bowing to Asuka, and it's a great moment. They hug, they embrace, and it looks like Asuka's done. Now, she might not be. This might have just been the last time she's ever going to have a big prominent match on a PLE, and Iyo was paying respect to her, and Iyo got to pin her, and that could have been it. But like this came to a thing where, is this it for Asuka? So they embrace after the match, they hug. Asuka gets a standing ovation, as does Iyo. It's a nice moment, and that was it. And it makes you think this is it for Asuka. But I don't know, maybe not. So it was definitely interesting how it ended. I hope not, but we don't know if it's over for Asuka, but we do know is no Kairi Sane at all. So Kairi Sane is gone. She's not coming back, unfortunately. That's sad. But the match was still good, and the post-match is interesting. We don't know if Asuka is gone. We will see. So John Cena was out next. He came out next after we had a break, and Cena comes out. He's wearing a striped suit this time, so the George are retired unless it's for podcasts. Podcasts, we can see the George. Anyway, John Cena thanks the fans. The fans chant, "One more match," very loudly. Cena doesn't really bite on that. It's not going to happen. He's not coming back. His last match was on December at Saturday Night's Main Event against Gunther. John Cena is done. But he talks about his final match for the first time on WWE TV since December. Doesn't mention Gunther, but the thing he focuses on is that show featured a lot of NXT talent, the NXT talent mixing it up with the main roster, and the theme was WWE versus NXT, and that's what the announcement was about here. I thought he was just coming out to announce Club WWE and plug it because it would be a very TKO thing to do, but that's not what happened here. So he announces the John Cena Classic, and what that is basically a tournament, and it's a tournament in which the fans vote, and it kind of confused me what it was because John Cena was talking about it as if the fans vote, and it doesn't matter if you win or lose, whoever is the best, who has the best performance, gets to win the tournament. And it sounds to me like a round robin tournament. I was very confused by it. And also there's going to be a show on it. I don't know if that means a PLE. It sounded like a PLE or maybe a Saturday Night's Main Event special. I don't know exactly what it is, but there's going to be a John Cena Classic. And in addition, there's going to be a John Cena Championship now. As he's putting his name on it, you win the belt. I'm a little bit confused exactly what he said here. But it was cool. The fans chanted for him. It was nice seeing Cena there. Anytime John Cena's back, everyone's going to cheer. He embraced Tampa Bay. He thanked them. And then he says it's time for the main event. And the segments ended. So at least it was noteworthy. Something happened here. It wasn't just him there to plug WWE. And I don't know if he lives in Tampa, but he has a lot of history there. And I'm not sure if his residence is there permanently, but it made sense for him to be there because it's Tampa. Probably wasn't too much of a travel for him. Everyone loves him there. And we got to see John Cena. Then, as I said, he said it's now time for the main event, and it was. But first, we got some advertisements because, of course, then they plug Clash in Italy, which is in just 3 weeks at the end of the month. And then you had Jackie Redmond. I like the pink blouse she was wearing, by the way. Corey Graves and Big E on the pre-show panel. But the sound was off. Yes, the sound was off. I still like seeing Jackie, but the sound was off. WWE has been having a lot of these glitches on PLEs and on Raws and on SmackDowns. It didn't seem like this would happen too often in the Vince McMahon era. But I don't know. I guess it's something on Lee Fitting. It has to be because they have a lot of these issues. And I've been noticing it more and more. So then we got the Roman Reigns versus Jacob Fatu video package. Jacob Fatu is out first, followed by Roman Reigns. And Alicia Taylor did the ring introductions for our main event. The World Heavyweight Championship on the line as Roman Reigns defended his title against Jacob Fatu. Reigns was definitely more over to start, but Fatu had support. Jacob got the heat early on. Jacob kicked out of a Superman punch at 1. And that made them, they're trying to make Jacob a monster when he did that. So that was the first big early spot, him kicking out at 1 from a Superman punch. Roman sold it really well. Roman looked like he was ready to have a good match with Jacob and get this guy over, but just not lose. But, still make this guy out to be a monster. So Fatu got some offense in. Then he powerbombed Roman Reigns through the announce booth. Roman Reigns back in the ring, hit a spear, but Jacob kicked out. Then Jacob hit that pop-up Samoan drop, which looks great because you can't just do that to anyone. Roman's a big guy. For him to just throw Roman up in the air like that and hit a Samoan drop is great. And then he hit the mighty moonsault after that, but Roman kicks out. And I noticed Fatu had his shirt off. I don't like that. I think he looks better and a little bit more menacing and sinister with the shirt on because he doesn't have much of a physique, let's be honest. He looks just more threatening, and I think he looks like he has more of a presence when he wears the muscle shirt, and I think he should just wear that. I don't think it's a good idea to have the shirt off, but they had dueling strikes. Again, Fatu, the fans were more behind Roman, but Fatu had a lot of support. It's kind of like maybe 2-1 in favor of Roman. That's what it felt like to me watching it. Then Jacob puts the Tongan death grip on Roman Reigns. Yes, he has the Tongan death grip, and they're teasing, is Roman done? And the fans are buying it because say what you want about their TV. They've done a very good job getting over this Tongan death grip and its history, and Jacob has Roman in it, but Roman gets out of it, and we get the ref bump. Roman sends Jacob into the ref to get out of it, but then he hits a second spear. Jacob Fatu kicks out. So the referee recovered quickly. I was fully expecting to see the Usos, and we had no Usos tonight, which was interesting. No Jey Uso, no Jim Uso. I was fully expecting them to come in and cost Jacob this match. We had no Uso running. So Fatu, after he kicks out of a second spear, he goes for the Tongan death grip. But then Roman Reigns grabs the referee, and then he, as the ref is distracted, he has his back turned. Roman grabs the top rope turnbuckle, pulls it off, and then he's eventually able to send Jacob into it. He rams him headfirst into the exposed turnbuckle, into the exposed steel. Roman Reigns and hits a third spear, pins Jacob Fatu 1-2-3 to retain the World Heavyweight Championship. After the match, though, was the bigger story as Jacob attacked Roman Reigns. He also attacked the referee. He attacked Adam Pearce. He attacked a whole bunch of Raw or SmackDown officials. I don't know, a whole bunch of them. Beating down agents. Jamie Noble, I think, was out. And he's just destroying Roman Reigns. He's choking him out with the Tongan death grip. And then he stops and he comes back in the ring, continues to choke him out. There was a really great visual with, I think it's Pearce or so, grabbing Jacob by the hair as he's choking out Roman Reigns. Really good visual there. And eventually that's how Backlash ended. And they really wanted to get Jacob over as a monster, as a beast. And I think they did a very good job of that. And then Backlash was over. I did want to mention the post show. So right away, you had Kathy Kelly interviewing Roman Reigns after the match on the ramp, and he says that Jacob doesn't belong in WWE. So obviously, this feud is going to continue. Then the panelists were talking about Jacob's attack on Roman. They talked about the opening match. Seth Rollins joined the panel with Jackie Redmond on it, and some of the other guys that are usually there, like Corey Graves and Big E and a couple other guys, I think. Not much else. Not much happened on the panel. Not on the whole countdown show. They talked to Lil Yachty and Trick Williams as well. They didn't talk to Iyo or Asuka, I don't believe, but Danhausen was on it. Really not much to write home about. It was what it was. It's what you'd expect. And overall, I have to say, Backlash was a very good show. It was easily the best WWE PLE of 2026 so far.